Hello, welcome all to Sprua Life Coaching. As you know, COVID-19 has reshaped our lives like never before. And all of us are forced to do things in a new normal ways. So this is causing a new kind of situation in our lives. Our workplace has changed. Most of the times our workplace is our home now. Our interactions have changed, and we are no longer going to the person's office or discussing things and having meetings over a cup of tea. Everyone prefers it online, and this is causing disruption to our lives. And whenever we go out, there are hundreds of people with the masks on, and they are staring at us. So this is causing a psychological state of flux, and many people are actually finding it difficult to adjust in this kind of a situation. But nonetheless, we have to continue with our lives. We have to continue with our offices and workplaces, and moreover we have to be effective also in this new kind of a situation. So from Sprua Life Coaching, we are always trying to give you something new and something which will help you to cope up with this situation. So today we thought that why not take guidance from someone who has decades of experience in training people in the corporate. So I am really grateful for having Vijay Kumar sir with us today. So sir, welcome to Sprua Life Coaching.
Thank you. Thank you.
So viewers, sorry sir, go ahead.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a
Yes.
great honor for me.
Yes, it's our privilege to have you here. And viewers, just to let you know, Vijay Kumar sir is having more than 10 years of experience as a corporate trainer. But before that, when he did his MS in mathematics, he has served the esteemed forces of our Indian Navy, and that is for 23 years he has served. And after doing that stint, he joined in the IT sector, and he had worked as a training manager for soft skills training. And not only that, he has done his MSc in yoga, and for last 30 years he has been practicing yoga and self regulation. So I think it is going to be really very insightful today's session, and I'm really looking forward for your guidance, sir. And I want to ask you, like, how do we make ourselves effective, and basically how do we first define effectiveness and efficiency, because a lot of people are confused about these ideas only. So if you could just brief on that.
Yeah, people normally confuse two things: efficiency and effectiveness.
Yeah.
Efficiency, if you take a physics example, then it is for a given input, how much is the output? If the output is higher, then we say that person is, or the process is more efficient.
Okay.
Effectiveness, my favorite definition of effectiveness is doing the right things, and efficiency is doing the things right.
Okay.
That is, first you understand what you are doing. What is the purpose? And when we talk about the whole life, we may be very busy doing some things, but unless we know for what purpose we are doing that, it is of no use. At the end of the day, when we have to probably on our deathbed, when you look back and see, have I done the right things?
Yeah, in my life.
First define those things. That is discovery of purpose. Know your ikigai. That is what actually is your purpose in life and what contributions you want to leave behind, and then do them in the right manner so that you get maximum output of that. So first effectiveness, then efficiency. And every task that we do, know the purpose, then do it right.
Yeah.
So that is the difference between effectiveness and efficiency.
Yeah, and as you rightly said, the knowing the purpose, because in whatever tasks we are doing, like in office also we are going now, and we are just trying to continue doing the things, and without knowing the purpose, because the purpose itself has undergone a shift now with the COVID situation. And I think you are training people in 7 habits of most effective people. And so can you tell us something like how do we make ourselves more effective?
The very popular book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People,
Yeah.
by Stephen Covey, first published in 1989.
Yeah.
Even today, it is one of the top 5 in the bestseller list. The reason is it defines what are the 7 things that you need to do in order to be effective.
Yeah.
So you may have any amount of literature, but when you put it in a very simple manner, if you do these 7 things, then you can be effective.
Yeah.
That makes it very understandable and therefore easy to follow. Simple things like be proactive. That means have good emotional control. Second habit, begin with the end in mind. That is knowing your purpose, which I just mentioned.
Yes.
First things first is all about time management. Think win-win. Don't compete in teams. Cooperate in teams. And habit number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood. Be a listener first. Understand the emotions of the people, even without having them to tell you. And 6 is 1 plus 1 is not equal to 2. It can be 10 or 100 or 1000, depending on how synergistically people work together. That is habit number 6. And finally, look after your entire 4 dimensions of body, mind, heart, and soul. Keep renewing it, so that till the last day of your breath, you're a productive member of this world. And Stephen Covey says one should never retire in life. Till the last day. And one beautiful example of that we have is Abdul Kalam.
Yes.
Who died when he was actually doing his most passionate thing, that is addressing the young population of this country. He was actually addressing a student audience in Imphal, in Manipur. And that is where he collapsed.
Yes.
That has to be everybody's motto. Be useful till the last breath. That is the contribution.
Definitely.
So his framework, 7 Habits gives a good framework for us to work upon.
Okay, yes. And yes, the whole life of APJ Abdul Kalam sir, and his book also, Wings of Fire, like it's really inspiring. And as you rightly mentioned, one should never retire. And I think we'll learn it from you also, that after having such a long career, now you are still working and doing your corporate training. So it's really inspiring for people like us.
I'm 68 plus and don't plan to retire.
That's really great, really great. So as you touched upon a very important thing, like people have to collaborate. So I think with COVID-19 situation, we are now moving from a world of competition to collaboration, and it's really like readjusting ourselves into that. So do you think there is a shift in how people are working in the teams, and how they can have like more effective interactions? Because now it's going to be distributed teams, I think, now going forward always.
Whether we are working face to face or whether we are working from our own houses in a connected environment, it is not the real environment which matters. It is the attitude which matters. You can be working together but still compete. You can be separated and still collaborate. Technology is not a barrier. Having people to work together is not a necessity. A lot of IT companies, even in the other times, had distributed teams.
Yes.
So it is the attitude which matters. Do I want to give back to the team, or do I withhold information?
Yeah.
I want to withhold information because I want to be the better person in front of my manager. Then naturally other person also will withhold information. And the best of ideas will die without coming into fruition. So when I am not withholding anything, I am not selfish for my own ideas, I'll get more ideas from other people also.
Right.
And
Right.
1 + 1 becomes 10. When I do not want to cooperate, others will not cooperate. So it has to start from me. I can't say that my team members are not cooperating. Am I cooperating? Am I doing my best to even teach my team something which they do not know? Then somebody else will teach me. So everyone has got plus and minuses. So that is the requirement. So COVID or no COVID, it is not a hindrance at all. Our mindset is a hindrance.
Right.
Where,
Right.
unfortunately, that is what we have been taught in school, right from KG school. My child 2 songs, the neighbor's child, if it is sung 3 songs, I'll compare my child with the neighbor's child. And complex and lack of self-esteem with the child. And the child grows like that. Yes. And then when you join companies, we say cooperate. It doesn't happen overnight. We'll have to take conscious decision about it.
Yes, yes. Constantly it is like, okay, mothers, I see when my daughter was in the school, on one mark they used to fight, and like uski shirt mere shirt se safed kaisi. That kind of that kind of a situation. Yes.
So it gives a lot of stress also. Very stressful for the mind.
Yeah, it increases so much stress level, because all the time you're not thinking about how to be better version of yourself. You are thinking, how do I go ahead, and constantly looking what that other person is doing.
So compete, but compete about self.
Yeah.
I should do tomorrow something in a better manner than what I done today. So competition with self, not with others.
Not with others. Yes, compete with yourself. Correct. Yeah, like yeah. Similarly, Sprual also when we get the clients, we tell them that we help you to become a better version of yourself.
Correct.
Yeah. So it is not about I want to achieve this or that. It is a byproduct. But first, you become a better version of yourself, what you were from yesterday.
You will automatically be more productive. You do adopt that.
Yes. Yes.
All the negativity will go.
Yes, and nowadays we see that people are like, even with COVID, first we had a break, and then nowadays people are again becoming very busy. Everybody is very busy in their online schedules. Whomever I've tried to talk to, they're saying I'm very busy. So how to be busy and effective, or like, do you have some message for these all busy people?
Yeah, the benchmark is whether they are busy with a purpose or are they busy only for keeping themselves busy. If there is a purpose behind that busyness, it is good. But if it is just attending webinar for the sake of keeping yourself busy, and in the bargain losing precious time with your own family and children, then it is not. So if you even convince a family that I'm doing something which is good for me post-COVID, or if the situation remains like this in the near term for maybe 2 years, so that purpose, if it is defined, there is no one else can decide for that. Only they have to decide.
Yeah. And actually, as you rightly mentioned, it is the time management, and how do we, because nowadays everybody is online and there is no time limit. Everything has got just mixed up. Earlier, only the IT enabled services were online, but nowadays I think most of the offices are trying to go online. So there is this difficult situation of work-life balance, because now we have still the maids are not coming in many places, so we have to manage that also. Then the children and the office, and how to manage all this work life.
Yeah, certain things are not in our control. When you concentrate on those things on which we have no control, they're only going to add to the stress level. Yeah. There is a beautiful prayer by Alcoholics Anonymous. It goes like this, which says, God, give me the strength
Yes.
to change the things that I can change,
Change.
the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change,
Change. Yes.
and wisdom to know the difference. COVID is something that I cannot do anything about it. So I should do whatever is possible from my side and not bother about anything else.
Hmm.
COVID will come and go. What is that in my control? So let me do that part.
Yeah. So definitely it is as you mentioned, we have to really analyze that. Okay, this is the situation. Now we have to remain in the boundary of that situation. We cannot do much about it, and you cannot control the infection rates. You cannot control whether you are going to get infected or not.
You can do that. What is in your control is putting on your own mask,
Mask.
not going into the crowd. So that is in your control.
Yes.
And if on top of that, if COVID comes, what is that I can do? I can take the proper medication. In spite of that, if something has to come, it is God's will. So don't worry about it. What is required from your point of view, for you as well as your families, those are all doable things.
Right.
Don't do that and say only God will save us. Then God will say, if you can't help yourself, I can't help you. First, help yourself.
Right.
Do all these precautions and boost your immunity by taking some Ayurvedic medicines like tulsi, ginger. These are harmless things. Giloy. I am doing it. And last 4.5 months, I have not gone out of my house. Because why should I take chance?
Yes, definitely.
So that has to be attitude. And I am attending all webinars sitting at home. So not that I am lazing out. I'm learning something new even in the last 4 months. A lot of things which I never imagined that I will learn at this age.
Yes, and like you had a long stint in the naval forces. Then you had 12 plus years of IT industry experience. After that, you're doing corporate training, and you're still learning and updating yourself. So that's really an inspiration at this age, with the energy that with which you're doing all these things. So is it
learning should never stop?
Yes. So is it the yogic practices that you have been doing, those helping you?
Lot of energy. I've been doing yoga for last 30 years. Then some last 10-15 years practicing the art of living, pranayama methods, Sudarshan Kriya. And then I did this formal 2-year course sitting with the students who are age 21, 22, much younger than my own children. And 2 years full-time course I did where I learned yoga and yogic therapy.
Okay.
I don't do any yogic therapy for others, but I practice all the methods learned there. And last 10 years, I have not been to a doctor for any illness. I'm able to take care of it myself here. I never been ill. Touch wood and touch yoga. And never been ill. And there's no occasion for me to go for any medicine as such. Some cough and cold, take tulsi and do Surya Namaskar, it goes off.
That's really credible. Yeah.
Only people can adopt this basic minimum 15 to 20 minutes of yogic practice of Kriya, Yoga, Asana and Pranayama. Your health will be very good.
That's really inspiring to know. And I think the self-regulation which the yogic practices are teaching us, they're really required. And some of the things that, like you mentioned, the attitude, the mindset, and all those things will come naturally when we are trying to practice that. Because every day you have to get up at certain time, you have to do certain exercises and do your pranayama, breathe in a certain way.
Right. Like if you do asanas, it is not only exercise for the external muscles, it is also exercises for the endocrine system.
Right.
The hormonal system. And all emotions are based on our hormonal secretions. You get angry, you get adrenaline. You got stress, you got cortisol. All the glandular systems work perfectly. And because of the messaging of the endocrinal system, your emotions also are under control. And when you do pranayama, you are able to take long breaths, and each breath, the entire 24 hours becomes a long breath. And you know, there is a direct connection between anger and or fear and breaths. When you are scared, breath is short.
Yes.
Angry, breath is short. And they say you take 10 long breaths. You're automatically taking long breaths. So even anger doesn't come that easily.
Right.
I can tell you from my own examples. I never get angry. There's no reason to get angry. As Gandhiji has said, if you are right, you have no need to get angry. And if you are wrong, you have no right to get angry.
Wow, wow. Very good.
Either case, there is no reason. Why should I get angry?
Yeah, but lot of times we forget that.
Lot of time we get angry when we are in the wrong.
Right.
Prove that I am not wrong.
Yeah, and it's kind of a defense. Like in the psychology, we say it's a defense mechanism that I want to shout and say that no, I am right.
Yeah, but the relationship goes for a toss.
Yes. And I think the main, as you had mentioned again and again, the attitude and to have the effectiveness or increasing our efficiency, it's important to have right kind of interaction. And you can have right kind of interaction only when you are at peace with yourself. You cannot have right kind of interaction if you're not like if you are having turbulence inside and you want to prove something.
Yes. Yoga gives that equanimity, because the definition of yoga given by Patanjali, sage Patanjali, Maharshi Patanjali, 2500 years ago, in his Patanjali Yoga Sutras. 196 sutras. He says yoga chitta vritti nirodha.
Yeah.
It means control or cessation of the mental modifications. Your mind is like an ocean full of waves, disturbed. Making it in such a manner that it is flat surface of water, so they can see inside. Inside is the Ishvara. They're able to see the Ishvara within us. So our 8 angas, ashtangas, 8 limbs of Patanjali Yoga Sutra are directed towards that.
Ashtanga Yoga.
Ashtanga Yoga is Patanjali Yoga Sutra's principle. To get the samadhi, which is the deep state of meditation. Where you actually discover the purpose of life.
Yeah.
So all your anger, emotions, all are under control when you practice yoga.
Yeah. So, and as you were explaining, I was just thinking that these are like, if we think, these are 3 different things, like the 7 habits, what he has quoted, the yogic practices, the ancient practices, what we have been following in India. And as you mentioned, Ikigai, which is like a Japanese technique. But if we really think, the principles are really converging, or they are common in all of these.
Correct. So that's what Stephen Covey also talks about. These are all based on principles.
Yeah.
He defines principles as something which is universal, that is applicable anywhere in the world. They're timeless. They're applicable thousands of years ago, or 2,500 years ago, or 2,500 years in future. And they're objective. And whether you know it or not, they're applicable to you. Like gravity. If you know gravity or not, when you jump from the first floor, you will fall into the ground. You can't say that I did not know that I will fall because I never. So whether you know it or not, it is applicable to you.
Yeah, ignorance is not going to help.
Correct. So they are based on principles. So principle being universal, whereas Stephen Covey has told that from the United States, or Patanjali told that from India. or the Japanese told about the same thing in Japan,
Yeah.
or even the American tribes before the Columbus went there. Even they knew these things. Everything is there everywhere in the world. We need to just use whatever is good and apply them in our life.
Yeah. So as you were explaining, I think it appears to be like a universal phenomenon or universal truths that our own attitudes and beliefs, and always whether it is at home or whether we're trying to work at the office or work with the clients, it is basically to look inwards and to prepare ourselves to look inwards and to see what is my self talk which is going on, what I'm actually the behavioral aspects I'm displaying to this world. I think as you mentioned, the yogic practices or the self regulation is really going to help us.
It is all round effectiveness. You can't say that I'm effective in the office but not effective at home.
Yes.
Or not effective with friends. When you're effective, you are supposed to be effective everywhere. You can't say I'm effective only in the morning and not in the evening.
Yeah, some people say that. Especially
my moods.
Yeah, आज mood नहीं है.
Correct.
The kids also say that आज mood नहीं है, पढ़ाई नहीं करना है.
So you will be effective, and you'll know your peak efficiency hours. That is efficiency. But you can't say that I will not lose temper in the morning, but I can lose temper in the evening. Then you are not, you are just putting on a show, because even in the morning you are getting angry, but somehow you are doing control. But that control is actually burning you from inside.
Because you are trying to, you are not really controlling your temper from within. You're just trying to suppress it.
That will have bigger implications. One day will burst.
Yeah, like the pressure cooker.
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Yeah, the steam gets accumulated, and
bursts out after that.
Yeah, it bursts out. Like I think that's what happened with lot of the families. Like when the lockdown started, first they were very happy, and then it really got out of control after a while.
Enemy to each other.
Yeah, and then now people are just waiting that when the offices are going to start, and they will just get on to their old style of life. But I think it's the new normal is going to be the fact of life, and we will have to learn to adjust ourselves. And the techniques that you have mentioned, that first follow the self regulation, look into your attitudes, and try to collaborate as much as possible. I think so that is going to be the way forward, how to make yourselves effective, more effective.
So, first thing is, no need to compete with anybody. Understand your life's purpose. Listen to the other people, because everybody is stressed. Everybody is waiting for somebody to listen to them patiently.
Yeah.
Give that luxury. At least people close to you, your own family members and maybe team members online. Collaborate, work together, have a good time discipline. Just because it is everything is closed down, don't get into the habit of getting into sleep at any time of the day. I mean, night, maybe 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and then compensating with the, say, getting up late in the morning. Body has got a cycle. It has to follow that rhythm. So don't get up too late and don't sleep after midnight, because before 12 o'clock midnight, you should be in deep sleep. Because all the repair for your body cells happens during that time.
Okay.
And if you don't give that luxury, your body is not able to repair. You may sleep for 8 hours from 2 a.m. to say 10 a.m. in the morning, but in the servicing time, which is 12 o'clock in the night, that you have missed the service cycle, and you have to wait for another day. and you miss continuously, the servicing is never done.
The servicing, the divine servicing which happens in the
Happens
sleep.
when you are asleep,
Yeah.
in deep sleep.
Yes.
That needs to be done.
Yeah. And
Simple things to follow.
right.
And
It's
because we don't do the simple things, we get into major troubles.
yeah. Because
Stress and even cancer, indigestion,
hmm,
and therefore anger. The stomach is not working properly, then you are definitely going to get angry. And somebody who's not done anything, any mistake to you.
right. So because we are continuously disturbing the rhythm of our body, and
Yes.
then we are trying to get the rhythm back in our lives. So that is not going to help. And as you said, there is a cycle. We have to respect that cycle, and the whole COVID situation is happening because we have not respected the cycle of our body, or the nature cycle. We have not
Right.
respected that.
Right.
Yeah. So and I think yeah, as you have served our defense forces, so the discipline that one learns in that training, that kind of rigorous training, and like you have to do certain things, you have to follow orders. Does it really help? And I think
Correct.
everybody should have that 1 year of training.
1 year training. It definitely helps. From life went into the Navy. That 6 months has changed my life. And what we did now in the 23 years, it continues an entire life. And not only for self, for the families also. Because you become an example. When I tell them that I will be there at 10 o'clock, I have to be there. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm not respecting somebody else's time.
time, right.
You can't say I'll come at 10 and then I land up at 11 o'clock and say I may have all sort of excuses that there is a traffic jam. I must have anticipated the traffic jam and made provisions to reach. So
Yes.
these things are well taught in the implemented, and there is a good plus point for those who are serving in the defense forces.
Yes, really, really salute, and it's really important because those people are serving. They don't care like what is going to happen to me or what is going to happen to my families. They are serving for the nation, and therefore we are sleeping peacefully at night.
And that qualification of having served in the Navy or armed forces was the one which gave me the job in Tata Infotech, because I was in charge of all the training, which includes the fresh hire training coming from campuses. And you know, the college mentality and how they come to corporate, you have served yourselves, how that needs to be molded to the discipline of a project management.
Yeah, yeah.
That 3 months of inculcation of that discipline, I could teach them. I used to conduct a 1-day course called Campus to Corporate, which was very popular. A lot of fun, but then a lot of learning of attitude and discipline, things like that. So my 2 jobs in both Tata Infotech as well as Cognizant were primarily because I was an ex-defense officer, with of course a computer background, because my field of work in Navy was also related to IT, because I was a meteorologist and oceanographer. The IT related work was there.
Okay.
So the IT gave me the technology and the Navy gave the discipline, which put together was useful as a training manager.
Yeah, really, really. Because
Very
both things.
fond memories of these 2 companies where I worked. Very fond memories of the people who are my train.
Really. And I can imagine.
That became handy even after retirement from Cognizant at the age of 58, because by the time I had acquired the skills of teaching not only the young hires, also up to the middle management. So helps me in not retiring.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers must be calculating your age now, because you retired at 58, and now after that 12 years you're working in the training industry.
I just crossed 68 years in the month of May. Long way to go.
Yes, yes. I really wish a very long and successful life to you, and please continue to inspire us. And
Yep.
it was really great having your insights today. And as you said, the things are so simple, but we do not respect things because they are so simple.
Correct.
And we always want to go for complicated things and complicate our lives further.
Life is simple, we make it complex.
Complex. And because it is so simple, it appears so simple, it becomes difficult to follow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Just follow the simple rules. Whether you follow 7 habits, whether you follow yogic methods, or just follow the gut instinct of your own.
yeah.
The gut instinct will tell you what is the right thing to do. Because God has given that much intelligence to everyone that
Everyone.
it is come with a preloaded software for good behavior.
Yes, yes.
We spoil it during our lifetime. That's why we say children are so innocent.
Yeah.
They become bad only after they grow up as adults.
Yeah.
Bad influences.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So it's our job to preserve that software, like the source code which was there, which we had been given,
Correct.
and make
And
real
not allow it
effect.
to be corrupted by viruses. Not
Yeah.
allow it to be corrupted by viruses, including the coronavirus.
Yeah, so that is going to be the tagline for today, that preserve your source code and don't allow it to be corrupted by the virus.
Yes.
Yeah, so sir, it was really great pleasure discussing
Thank
with
you.
you. And definitely we'll look forward to having you again after a few days. We'll discuss few more things, because
Yes.
we hope that this situation gets to a new normal stage where we are having our rhythm back, and all of us will have to really strive for it. We'll have to really work towards it. And the insights what you have shared today with our viewers are really going to help. So
Thank
thank
you very
you
much.
very much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Yeah. And all the viewers, stay tuned for our next series in coping with COVID, and we are going to be there with another expert with another interesting topic. Thank you.
So nice of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.